Get all this going, y'all know the drill by now. It's not the Rona, promise. Not the Rona. Good Tuesday morning, y'all. Welcome to History by Phillips. I'm Mr. Phillips. This week's lecture series is going to be on growth and expansion. We'll be pretty much looking from year 1800 to about 1830 at the end of this lecture series. A couple things we'll be talking about in this lecture series. It's a short series this week. One will be the growing economy. We'll be looking at two big things in that. That will be the northern economy versus the southern economy. Then we'll be talking about moving west. Remember, we just got the Louisiana Purchase, as we talked about in the last lecture series. When we talked about Jefferson, when they talked about the Jefferson era, all that stuff. And we'll be talking about unity and sectionalism, trying to how to get all these states to rally behind one cause. The hey, go United States, go America. Because believe it or not, it did not used to be like that. People are still more loyal to their state than anything. You'll start seeing this. This is what we'll call sectionalism. We've kind of been talking about sectionalism. You just haven't realized it yet. When I say the North versus South, or the North, West, and South, so on so forth, that's what I mean by sectionalism. You can start seeing these key, distinct cultural areas, political distinctions, economic distinctions, social extinctions. You can start seeing them in these sections, mostly in the north and south. But we'll be talking about that later on this week. But for right now, let's go ahead and get into it. The first part of this lecture series. This first part will be the growing economy. So in the growing economy, we'll be talking about two things really. One, industrial growth. The industrial revolution. Machines are here. You'll start seeing this take place mostly up here in New England. You'll start seeing it happen along a lot of major rivers too, especially down in the south. You'll start seeing on the Mississippi, the Tennessee River. Pardon me, I had to scratch my nose there. All that, but mostly you'll start seeing these industrial advancements along the northeast, the eastern seaboard, and along the Great Lakes area. Then agriculture, farming. This will be the South and West. Remember, a lot of folks still refer to this as the West at the time, but pretty much all this, uh, it's going to be for agriculture. This is going to be when you think of agriculture, think of slaves. That's what we're going to tie this into. But with that being said, let's get into it. So first, let's talk about the industrial growth. Now, most folks used to have to work pretty much where they live. Think about it. Unless you own a horse, you can maybe drive. I mean, go as far as a horse can take you in a day to work and ride back or something like that. But people are very limited what they can do with work. Uh, but by 1800, the Industrial Revolution has reached the United States. Started off in Europe, especially in Britain. Uh, they started making these machines, especially these machines that ran on water. A classic example is that's the TVA that we have around here. That's the reason why this region of the country gets cheaper electricity than most folk. But you start seeing these factories, these mills popping up on these rivers, using I forgot the word. I was trying to think of hydro something. But anyway, I just took a hold of New England. But yeah, but you start seeing these machines start replacing workers. Kind of like down here, used to you might have a room full of people just. Let's see, can't tell if they're putting together shoes or something, making clothes. They used to, have to pass a jacket down the line. And people sew it. Well, now they got these machines. They can start weaving into it. Got machines that are making thread for these women, called spinning jennies. You start seeing all this. It starts happening at a faster pace. People are able to make goods quicker, so people are able to sell them quicker. Sorry, I'm trying to get used to my camera. It's all flipped on me here. Yeah, but with these machines, you start seeing these factories start coming on. Yes, we do have class, Mr. Class. Leave me alone. I'm making a video. Uh, yeah, we'll see if he actually watches it today. Anyways, you start seeing these factories start coming along with these machines coming in from Europe, especially flooding into the northeast area. You start seeing these factories now. one reason why the Northerners like this so well is one geographically they can't produce crops like the South can. Uh, the land's not good, cold winters, it's just not good growing seasons. So they're more than happy to make this, I guess, change if you want to think of it to this industrial life, the city life. Because with these machines comes factories, and with these factories starts coming cities. It all starts becoming like one interconnected web. You're able to receive goods, produce new goods, and ship them back out all in one destination. This starts giving rise to wage workers. All of a sudden, you have people working for, I don't know, $1 an hour, $2 an hour, so on and so forth. It's different than having to, work at home, just worry about what you're going to eat and for the next day or so. But now you're able to purchase goods on a more frequent scale. But I digress. But know that the North is starting to develop these major cities, these major urban populations. You kind of see it in the last election if you pay attention to the last election. These big urban areas, that's pretty much where these started from these factories developing along the East Coast here. But what you see out of this, you start seeing an American economy emerge. Now, American economy is based on two things. You got capitalism and you got free enterprise. So all capitalism is, I know you hear that term thrown around all the time, is business and individuals own property and decide how to use it. You can't tell me how I can spend my money. You can't tell me how I can use my tools. You can't tell me how I can use my building. And same for me. I can't tell you how to decide to use your own property. Property in this case, think of anything that has monetary value, cash, buildings, property, so on and so forth. That's what it means by property. Uh, oh yeah, and people, not the government, control the capital. Uh, this is just you're talking money terms, the fancy economic terms. They refer to capital as money or something that's worth something. So capital. The people, not the government, or the people, not the government, are in control of capital. The government has no say in how we can conduct our business or spend our money, basically. And also, free enterprise. You are free to work wherever you want. It's not like somebody can force you to go somewhere and work. What else? You're free to go. You can spend your money on whatever you want. Nobody's going to stop you. You can produce whatever. You can go home, build you something, and go sell it the next day. Nothing can stop you from doing that. Now, there's five things along with free enterprise. Is one, you just want to be able to have the freedom to do it. Be able to start up or sell or produce whatever you want to do. Be able to have the freedom to do that. Called private enterprise. Competition. Let's say I'm producing a phone and the other teacher down the hallway is producing a phone. Uh, More than likely you're going to buy the cheaper one of the two. If they're the same exact phone, you'll buy the cheaper one. So with that competition, we got to figure out ways how to keep our goods cheap. That way we can still sell them to make a profit. Private property, you got to make sure you have your own land or whatever, your own tools, your own building, your own equipment, do whatever you need to. Make sure you're only going to do this for money. You're not just going to, what you call it, just do it. And consumer sovereignty. Uh, People get to pick what they want. You don't force them to buy it; they get to choose from you. But I know it's a little complicated. We'll touch on that a little later. Yeah, just know that it's you. You can decide what you want with your own property, with your own money. Nobody can tell you what to do about it. But I digress. Let's move on. Oh yeah, with all this industrial growth happening, you start seeing new inventions. One is the spinning jenny, as you see here. It starts producing thread on a mass scale. It allows these textile workers to start weaving cloth, making blankets, making jackets, coats, breeches, under you name it. They can start producing this on a mass scale. The power loom. Not too sure on it, but I'm pretty sure she used to produce cloth on a massive scale. But the big one is the cotton gin, Eli Whitney's cotton gin. Now, what you want to know about the cotton gin is pretty much it goes right in effect with the southern agriculture, the agriculture side of the economy. With the invention of the cotton gin, people are able to start producing cotton at a large scale. If you're able to produce cotton on a large scale, you're probably going to need more slaves to produce this cotton. Because remember, the southern economy is based on agriculture. That agriculture is driven by a free labor force. That free labor force is often found in forms of the African American. Started since Jamestown, early 1600s, but with the invention of the cotton gin, they start coming in on a rapid scale. By the Civil War, there'd be, I think the estimates are more close to 5 million now. 5 million African Americans. Oh yeah, it'd be five with the free population. Yeah. But as you can tell, the cotton gins made about 1793, produced about, took a little while for everybody to get it, but all of a sudden you start seeing this growth just on a large scale. We are a global force on it. Like we're producing more and better quality cotton than Egypt at the time. All because of the cotton gin. But we'll move on. So that's pretty much it for today. There's two big things. One, the North and South are opposites once again. Politically, typically the New England area, they're like the Federalists. They like a strong national government, federal government, while the South, they prefer states' rights, a weaker central government, a limited central government. Uh, Once again, you start seeing their economies. They're starting to go off different paths too. The North, they're starting to go with more of the factory slash machine route, I guess you can say, while the South are going more with the agriculture farming side with slavery. So what is this? What is this going to mean for the new land that we discovered, or not discovered that we got, especially in the Louisiana Purchase? Remember, Thomas Jefferson sent Lewis and Clark out to go map it out and survey it and all that. What's going to happen to all that? Remember, there's going to be new states that are going to start forming from it. Uh, all so on and so forth. But how's slavery going to affect this politically on a federal level? And what about the state level too? Keep in mind, how do this each states think about slavery as a whole? But that's it for today. This has been part one of growth and expansion. This has been the first lecture series on the growing economy. It's a little rough. I apologize for it. Hopefully tomorrow's quality be a little bit better. But till then, I've been Mr. Phillips. This has been History by Phillips. I'll see y'all in the study block. Peace.